Hello and welcome to the channel. On today's video, I want to show you guys how to deal with unruly 2-track beats. Obviously, when you watch the pro mixing engineers, the good thing is the fact that they get a product that is almost finished. So their job is just to finalize it, like maybe little EQ here and there, compression and some ear candies or whatnot. But at this level that we are, obviously, you tend to get maybe mixes that are not done properly or beats that's been ripped from YouTube or somewhere else, and you have to deal with it. So this particular beat was obviously brought, and the artist has done their recordings. They send this to me, but if you are listening to this on a big speakers or subwoofer, you notice how unbalanced this is, and the low end was basically too big, unruly, not controlled. So I'll play you guys it and I'll show you guys how I've used these plugins to control it before we could fit this vocal into it. So this is the vocal without effect to start with. Just the vocal.
Going church, keep her parents happy. Bible hypocrite, she barely practiced what she preached. Last night she was down upon her knees with a mouth full yet never disagreed. Long as she got her peas, fuck it, I gotta eat. So I give him the best of me. Young dumb, you can call it what you want. Pussy's power where I'm from.
So that's the vocal. Now just listen to the beat. You see how big this beat is. And if you obviously listen to this on a small speaker or maybe a headphone that hasn't got a heavy low end, you might not notice it much. But I'll show you guys on span anyway to see what is happening to that low end. So you basically see when that drum hits, there's some sub informations, the bass that comes up with it. You will see everything below 30 Hz was still richly going all the way up. So when I listened to this on my subwoofer, that was really, out of control, very unruly. So what have we done to it to actually control it? Because even after mixing the vocal, trying to fit it into a beat like this will always be a challenge. So except you control the beat, because remember, you have to mix the vocal to fit into the beat, not for the vocal to just sound good on its own. Because just listening to the vocal now, you notice that it's sounding good on its own already.
Going church, keep her parents happy. Bible hypocrite, she barely practiced what she preached. Last night she was down upon her knees with a mouth full yet.
But trying to fit it into a beat that is not controlled is now a big work, except we obviously get to grit and get this beat under control.
Going church, keep her parents happy. Bible hypocrite, she barely practiced what she preached. Last night she was down upon her knees with a mouth full yet.
So one thing you notice is the low end is all over the place, and also that high end is a bit too sharp. The hi-hats and that sound in the middle. So what have I done first? I throw in a Zone 11 equalizer. This EQ was actually given free by Isotope and Native Instruments a few months back. I'm not sure if it's still free, but if it is, go and grab this EQ because it's really, really good. So I'll obviously show you guys on this second one why I said this EQ is a must-have. So what have I done? I've high-passed at, the first one is actually a high-pass at 30 Hz with 24 dB slope. Then I noticed that the main fundamental of that kick drum is at 40 Hz, even though it's got rumble going below, like those kick and bass drum. What have I done? I've actually pushed it down by minus 1.5 dB at that 40 Hz. Then the harmonic that generates is obviously 80 Hz. I've boosted that by 1 dB so that our focus goes to that higher harmonics, instead of that fundamental that's really, overpowering the low end. And I've also put, 1 dB in the middle here. This is on the mid. Remember, this is mid side. Look, this is the side. There's nothing happening. All this is on the mid. So I'm using mid side EQ. So after that, let's have a listen. You notice that the low end is more controlled. If you listen to this on a big speaker, maybe 8-inch, or if you have a subwoofer, then you'll notice what this has done. Let's have a listen to it.
Going church, keep her parents happy. Bible hypocrite, she barely practiced what she preached. Last night she was down on her knee.
So we're not obviously fully controlling this yet. What did I do? I throw in FabFilter Pro Q3. So I'm also using a shelf to pull those down more by over 10 dB, minus 10 dB. And I've also do mid-side EQing in the middle, just pulling this middle a bit more for the vocal to sort of sit in. This is minus 2.5 dB. This is minus 166. And I've also done a shelf, I've minused it by like a dB or so. And I'm also doing dynamic on it so that some hi-hats gets pulled down. And obviously there's a low pass on the top. Let's have a listen to that.
Going church, keep her parents happy. Bible hypocrite, she barely practiced what she preached. Last night she was down upon her knees with her mouth full, yet never disagreed. Long as she got her peas, yeah, I gotta eat, so I give him the best of me. Young dumb, you could call it what you want. These power where I'm from, and it pays raw, but the pain raw. I'm numb to it. Young and abused, I've been through it. Couldn't do it, how nuns do it. And no, I ain't your baby. You don't.
So with this one, there's obviously more control on that low end. So I've now thrown in yet another Ozone EQ11 on this particular one now. The first one I was doing mid-side, this one I'm doing transient and sustain. This is why I said this EQ is a must-have, because it gives you the ability to actually EQ your transient or sustain separately. So the transient obviously is what makes, everything sound more alive. So in that middle, I'm actually pulling the transient so that the vocal cut through more. You can see just minus 0.8. This side is minus 2 dB on the top as well, minus 1 dB. This is on the transient side. So on the sustain side, I'm actually pulling just minus 0.3, everything below 200 Hertz, 220 Hertz. Let's have a listen to that.
Going church, keep her parents happy. Bible hypocrite, she barely practiced what she preached. Last night she was down upon her knees with her mouth full, yet never disagreed. Long as she got peas.
So with this EQ moves, you notice that the vocal is cutting through more. Let's bypass it and I'll turn it back on.
Going church, keep her parents happy. Bible hypocrite, she barely practiced what she preached. Last night she was down upon her knees with her mouth full, yet never disagreed. Long as she got her peas, yeah, I gotta eat, so I give him the best of me. Young dumb, you could.
So the last thing I've done is, brought in this linear phase multiband by Waves. This is obviously an old plugin, but it's still a gem. So this is what I call old is gold. Basically, I'm using it to also level this. If you notice this high, I've pulled it by minus 1.5. The high mid, I've pulled it by minus 1. And the low, I've added 2 dB to it, even though I'm also, controlling it more. I've actually pulled the threshold down that this low is more compressed. The rest are being compressed, but gently. The low, every time that kick drum with bass hits, it basically pulls it down and hold it there till it sort of lets go before that goes back to unity. And how did I do that? I was able to actually calculate the attack and release that will let it control that low end without, creating too much harmonics. Because if you set this attack and release too short, to when the low end, basically that 40 Hertz, gets back to unity, it will create a lot of harmonic spikes, which we don't want. So in order to do that, I've actually, calculated the attack and release that I will use to give me minimal harmonics, because obviously processors like this will always generate harmonics or change the sound somehow, but the whole essence of all this is to create minimal, harmonics. So with about 166 attack, 166 release, gave me less harmonics. So as you can see, this is how we were able to control it with these 4 plugins. And if you listen to this back on a big speakers, you notice that the low end is still very huge, but more controlled now compared to how it was without these 4 plugins. And also the high end is now more controlled, unlike before that it was really, too bright and piercing. So let's have a listen to the final, mix.
Going church, keep her parents happy. Bible hypocrite, she barely practiced what she preached. Last night she was down upon her knees with a mouth full yet never disagreed. Long as she got her peas, okay, I got her eat, so I give him the best of me. Young dumb, you could call it what you want. These power where I'm from, and the pay's raw, but the pain raw. I'm numb to it, young and abused, I've been through it. Couldn't do it, I'm numb to it. And no, I ain't your baby, you don't know me. Shut the fuck up and pay me, or leave me alone. Shut the pay me or leave me alone.
I hope this is helpful, guys. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. And if you have any question about this, don't hesitate to leave me a comment down below. Also, please like and leave a comment so that YouTube algo will send this to more people. And another thing is, I've got a membership only where I actually go into more depth about, my mixing process and how to get good at mixing. So hopefully on the next video, I will obviously break down what I've done to this vocal and effects, as well as, the mix bus stuff. But for now, join that membership and also hit that super thanks and super sticker because it does help the channel. Thanks for watching. See you guys on the next one. Bye now.